In one sentence, why wasn't Terrell Owens a first-ballot Hall of Famer?
I personally think that a lot of the people on the committee held his locker room issues against him. And, I understand it's sort of a gray area because you're not supposed to take off-field things into consideration. And, is how the guy is a teammate, is how the guy conducts himself in the locker room, is that a factor? I think you can argue that both ways, whether or not it should be or it shouldn't be. I would say this: he was so dominant for a number of years that I don't know how anybody could look at that and say, him doing sit-ups in his driveway or whatever would outweigh his accomplishments on the field.
But but the thing is, Albert, I don't understand this. It feels like we hold. You're more accountable for what you are as a teammate than what you were doing outside of that, where you might have been arrested or somebody,
right,
is caught with drugs and hookers in a hotel room, or, suspended for drugs. Or Brett Favre, was he a great teammate if he was, on painkillers? That's what I'm not sure. I think we need to be fair to Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're being fair. I think we're picking and choosing with him.
Yeah, I agree. And the way I look at this is just, again, I've always looked at the Hall of Fame as a museum, not a church. It's there to explain the history of the game, to tell the story of great players. And I've always felt like the barometer for getting in the Hall of Fame is, can you tell the story of an era without a guy? And I really think it'd be difficult to tell the story of the era Terrell Owens played in without talking about Terrell Owens. And I know that you can play games with that too, where there are certain, you can't tell the story of this decade without telling the story of Aaron Hernandez. It doesn't mean he should be a Hall of Famer, but I think that there are guys who made an impact on the field that, you just can't tell the story of the game without them. And I just think Terrell Owens is one of those guys. And I do think part of it is, the way that he treated certain people in the media. And I don't think that's fair at all. I don't think that the fact that, maybe he could be prickly to deal with or pain in the ass, I've never felt like that should have anything to do with anybody going into any Hall of Fame. And so that's just been my opinion on it, that, you should mostly hold this should be mostly about your accomplishments on the field. And I do think that it's fair to look at who he is as a teammate. That can be a little bit of a gray area, just because it does affect what happens on the field. But I actually like the way football does it, where they take most of the off-field stuff out of it, because I just don't think those committees should be any sort of moral arbiter.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.